Hi everyone. So I just found out today that Stefan Molyneux has been removed from YouTube after some 14 or so years. Pretty big channel, really, and that's not a good thing. Even if you disagree with him, even if you don't like him, I find I've had many disagreements with him over the years. I've left many a critical comment on many of his videos, and my criticisms of him would range from the I would say the serious disagreements, over ideas, concepts, arguments that he's making, to the superficial. I find that he's been getting more and more self-centered and arrogant over the years. That's a minor gripe, obviously. But even if you disagree with him, if you are an open-minded person who wants, people to be free to engage in political debate, disagreement, rational, dispassionate, adult conversations, then this isn't a good thing. This is, in essence, a digital book burning. I realize there are other platforms he can go to, but when you have major corporations, major platforms such as YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and the like, they own the public square. And so saying that, he can go somewhere else, that he's not being censored in that, in a sense, in a broader sense, I'm not sure how much it means if someone is relegated to some dusty alleyway on the very outskirts of town where nobody goes, if they've been booted off the public square, which again is what YouTube really represents. And it's obviously, it's ideological. There are many people on the sort of the left side of the aisle who are they spew far more hate speech than someone like Stefan Molyneux does. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not aware of any of them that have been removed. The likes of Ghazi Kodzo and people like that. I would argue that if you disagree with Stefan Molyneux, the thing to do would be to make, in the good old days, we had response videos. Challenge the ideas. Sunlight was supposed to be the disinfectant, not censorship. And we were supposed to thrust everything into the battle, the battle place of ideas, and may the best ideas win. Show people the error of their ways. Show people where their data is wrong. Show people where they're being irrational or they're not making logical arguments. It was actually a pretty interesting debate recently between Stefan Molyneux and Rationality Rules. And I thought it was very good because this idea, this concept in action. It was taking place before our very eyes. And, for what it's worth, I think Stefan Molyneux didn't show very well for himself, actually, in that particular exchange. In fact, he re-uploaded the video, called it an HD upload, and interjected, after the debate, some commentary, that's not cool, and most people recognize that. But again, people were holding him to task. Most of his videos, I'm pretty sure, had a majority of, thumbs up, likes to them in general, because it's a Molyneuxian crowd that watches his videos more or less. And that was one video where he got far more thumbs down than thumbs up, and a lot of people were pretty critical of what he did. And there were a lot of people who were saying, I've been watching you for a long time, this isn't cool. But that's the way it's done. You hold people to task, you don't make them disappear. And I would argue as well, this is not just a shot across the bow to Stefan Molyneux. Of course, it's a shot across the bow to all the people who watch his videos. And maybe in the end it's for the best. Maybe it will work better. Maybe they will all follow him to BitChute or wherever he goes, and they'll be disabused of any notion that anyone wants to engage rationally with them. And sometimes, knowing the actual game you're playing is sometimes better than living with the illusion that you're in a fair, free market of ideas environment. But I don't think this is good ultimately. And it makes me wonder about my own channel on YouTube. Should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? Obviously, I'm not a big fish in any way. But if algorithms are picking out topics and things to flag, I already uploaded a video yesterday, which I have yet to set to public, which I'll do shortly, about BLM and the current stuff that's going on. And so if I'm not touting the party line, is that something that's going to get flagged? I don't know. And if it is, so be it, I suppose. But this is, I think, ultimately, in many ways, this is how democracy begins to die, potentially. It depends on how successful they are, of course. But and to all the people who would be cheering this on as though it's some kind of victory, the thing you have to understand, obviously, and this was a lesson I think we were supposed to have learned a very long time ago, is that just because it's your opponent that has been eliminated, that does not mean that that this is ultimately a victory, any kind of a victory for free speech. It's only a matter of time. The monster always turns and eats its own tail. And it's only a matter of time before they come after you, whoever it is. We've watched this happen a million times over. All of the woke personalities who cheer when something happens to someone else, only to be at some point the focal point of the mob. Ultimately, we're all standing on the shoulders of giants. And a lot of people seem to think that they have sprung forth from the womb, fully developed as a woke culture warrior. And that's just simply not the case. That's an arrogant point of view to imagine that you are solely self-righteous and that you don't owe any of the progress that's been made in humankind to anyone but other than yourself. It's an extremely arrogant point of view. And ultimately, what I think people don't understand when they cheer for something like this with Molyneux and they declare themselves to be woke and they want to relegate the people they disagree with to the scrap heap of irrelevance, to the scrap heap of humanity, is that they are the bigots of tomorrow. And we've witnessed this time and time again. It's only a matter of time before the mob turns on you. You will be the bigot of tomorrow. And what dies in the interim, I think, unfortunately, is peaceful discourse, fruitful disagreement, and ultimately peace. Because if people cannot interact with one another using words, then they'll just do it with violence. And that saddens me. So it's not a good day. Please feel free to let me know what you think, and stay tuned shortly for a release of a video about why BLM won't say all Black Lives Matter. Thanks for watching.